In the last few minutes, WRAL called the presidential race in North Carolina for Donald Trump.
Let's bring in NC Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie and Dan Haggerty. We are really drilling down into this map now and looking at these precincts to see how this race fell for Trump.
Well, Laura, how do you think Donald Trump got it done here in North Carolina?
I think what we saw basically was a sort of a failure to turn out. What needed to happen for Harris to win was for her to really run up the totals in the urban areas, and we did not see that. Let's have a look at Mecklenburg County, if you don't mind. With 97% of precincts reporting, she carried it by just about 2 to 1. She needed to hit at least 70%, more like 75, really, to bank to offset all the red areas of the state. That did not happen. So despite all the voter turnout, that didn't work out. If you want to look down at New Hanover County, I think they were hoping Dems could bank a few votes there, but as you can see, it was 61%, so still counting there. But it's very, very close to a break even in New Hanover. And actually, this county has actually bumped Trump's total up a little bit. And I think that's why we decided to call it. It does not look like there's enough votes out there to supply enough votes for her to come back. You know,
back to Mecklenburg County again, she was expecting or hoping to get 70% of the vote. I mean, that is a huge amount of voting power in that area. What do you think the Trump campaign did and former President Trump did to convince people down in that area? We know he spent a lot of time here in North Carolina.
He spent a lot of time in Charlotte, absolutely spent a lot of time in Charlotte, and so did J.D. Vance. And, you know, some of it, too, I mean, has to fall on the Democrats. I mean, you know, what didn't they do to get their ground game out, right? I mean, it looks like they had a good night for ground game-wise up here in the Northeast, where the Democrats were trying very hard to get their turnout. But, you know, when you can't turn out your powerhouse urban areas like your Wake County, your Greensboro, your Charlotte, your Asheville, that's when, if you're a Democrat, you run into trouble, because those are, as you see, sort of the islands of blue in a sea of red that makes all of North Carolina purple.
You know, one thing that just really stands out to me tonight is just the nature of the voting in North Carolina. When you look at the way the state votes, they tonight vote for a Republican candidate for president. But if we go down the ballot and look at some of the other state races, a governor elects a Democrat, lieutenant governor, it might end up being a Democrat. I'm looking
pretty sure.
Only at Mecklenburg here, but attorney general as well, a Democrat. When you look at the superintendent's race, it may end up being a Democrat. So it is interesting to see the mix that this state will elect.
Right, but when you go and look at the auditor's office, the AG's office, labor office, insurance, and I'm missing one, but you'll forgive me. Those are all Republicans. So we have an evenly split Council of State, 5 and 5, Republican and Democrat. It's an evenly split state. It's a purple state. So, and this is really what you're seeing tonight.
For the record, she forgot one there. Laura does not know everything. Okay, I know that everybody thinks she does, not everything. But yeah, so
it's late, Dan. It's late.
Is it? So yeah, that's the breakdown. President Trump getting it done here in the state of North Carolina yet again.
Laura, I think you know everything, so you are definitely
It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
On the way home.
You're right. Thank you, guys.